Alright, so today we'll be taking a little walk around the garden and basically observing how the melon and watermelon plants are doing in containers or in grow bags, as we see in front of us with this Haru Madhu melon. So, first first flower. So it looks like we have our first male bloom on Haru Madhu. I saw the blooms were developing, but I hadn't seen an open bloom. So today is the first one. So it looks like things are making progress. I'm glad I came out at the time I did. All right. And also we can see some leaders getting ready to form in between the pits. I call that the pits. So basically, Haru Madhu is growing well. This is the largest plant of the few that are planted in this grow bag. This one is doing good. No flowers yet, so this plant is the first one to produce a bloom. So we'll be seeing some fruits really soon. This one right here looks a little bit yellow compared to these others. These healthier ones look a little bit green. You can see the leaf size is about near the size of my hand. So I don't have any Haru Madhu melons to compare this one to that are in containers, but we can easily see that it's definitely performing well, and I plan to vine it out in this direction here. I'm gonna probably let the melons, as they set fruit, I'm gonna let them sit in these 3-gallon containers. Not because I set this up to do that, but just because since it's already right there, and to keep the melons off the ground. I realized with Kajari a couple seasons ago that the insects like to eat into Kajari, and this is related to Kajari. So this is a variety from India. Kajari is from India, and Madura is from India. Here's my little other wild garden bed. So right here we have Leelanau Sweetglo in this little section right here. And then down here, Santo, Domingo, Casaba. So it looks like only about 3 of them made it. This one is starting to put out a true leaf back here. So that one's gonna grow real fast. That's a recent planting, so we can't collect too much data from that variety yet. There's not much to observe since it's fresh in that soil. But Leelanau has been growing for a little bit, and I have them in these 6-inch containers that are bottomless. You can see that one. Then I have one in a 4-inch bottomless container down here. That one's growing real slow, so we're not even gonna worry about looking at that one. But as we can see, these plants here in this grow bag, oddly enough, they're growing much faster than these plants down here in the containers. Also, something to note, this single plant looks a little bit larger than the plants right here, where there's 2 of them, and then back here, where there's 2 more. Although they're not too different in size, this one is at least double their size though. So I may start doing 1 plant per 6-inch container if I do continue using that method. Now, when we compare this 6-inch container, Leelanau Sweetglo, just lifting up that embryonic leaf, it still has its embryonic leaves. When we compare this one and look at the grow bags, which I haven't been watering, the grow bag ones are actually growing really well. Compared to this one has a little bit greener leaves, but that's probably because the fertilizer is more concentrated toward the root zone. So I'm gonna put some more fertilizer down on these guys. But these guys are actually a little bit bigger or taller, I would say. Leaf size, not too much of a difference. This one has a little bit larger leaves, just a tad bit. It's hardly noticeable, but they're growing really well in that grow bag. And there's at least, let's count how many plants are in here. 2, there's 2 right here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. A caterpillar was eating at this one, but it's starting to put out true leaves, so it's bouncing back. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I don't know if I started counting these. If I didn't, 20, 21, 22, 23. So there's at least about 23 in that bag there, and it's growing real good, honestly. And especially compared to over here where the soil is a little bit lower, we can see some Leelanau's. I'm assuming, well, no caterpillars didn't get to these. They're just a little bit lower for, they're a little bit smaller. I'm assuming because the grow bag has, its height is a little less. So I'm assuming the more soil that's in these bags, the more moisture that's able to collect toward the center of the bag. So I assume like the top layer may be dry, but as it comes into this area, if I were to pull all the soil up, this will still have some moisture. So I'm assuming that these are still able to collect moisture, especially compared to the ones in these 6-inch containers down here. They're able to collect it a little bit better, or they have a greater reservoir of moisture. All right, so here is Desert King, which is growing real well. These are actually 1 gallon containers. Gnats all over. Keep biting me. These are actually 1 gallon. Oh, Desert King is starting to flower. So this is the first flower I've noticed from Desert King. So we're gonna have some female blooms developing soon. But these 1 gallon containers are doing real good, and also the grow bags are doing real good. So we can see they're starting to vine out, but they're not doing as well as the 1 gallon containers. We can see the 1 gallon container is way out here, the vines. So if we follow that vine, it comes all the way back to here. So that's not bad at all. So I may take that into consideration also, having a specific height. So that 6-inch container may be a little bit too low, but that 1 gallon may be the perfect size for fast growth, basically for expedited growth. So Desert King is doing real good, and that's a few Desert Kings in this actual grow bag though. That's why I like the grow bag, because I can fit a lot of plants in there. But it looks like with the 1 gallon containers, I can get some real fast growth. Ooh, ants everywhere, gnats. All right, so yeah, it looks like I can get some real fast growth with the 1 gallon containers, especially depending on where they're planted at. So these don't get sun in the evening, but they get sun in the morning, and these are what's actually growing the fastest. So I'm glad to see that male bloom there. Right here is Madhu, which has been putting on a few blooms for the last couple of days, and I have a few Madhu plants all over. Growing good in that grow bag there. Let's go check out some more of the Madhu, like right here. These are looking decent. No blooms on those. The Madhu that are doing the best, I'm gonna show you in a little bit. Here we are. This is another one. This one is doing okay. This one right here is doing the best. And I'm expecting female blooms from this one soon. You can see sweet ants in that male bloom pollinating. So we're making progress on that end. Let's see. Where's the Madhu planted at? I can't find. Oh, here it is. So this is where the root zone is. Get those weeds out of there. This is where the root zone is, and this plant is stretching all the way out to here. So Haru Madhu seems like it has a little bit bigger leaves than Madhu, but maybe because it has a little bit better conditions that it's growing in, so a slight shade might be preferable for bigger leaves and probably bigger fruit, but we'll see. And it also could just be the quality of the plant. The leaves just probably don't get too large on Madhu compared to Haru Madhu. But this specific Madhu is doing real good. The root zone doesn't get any sunlight at all during the day. You can see these banana leaves here are covering it. So the root zone doesn't get any sunlight, but the actual vine itself is getting plenty of sunlight. It's getting full sun. All right. So like I said, Madhu has been flowering for the last few days. So I'm expecting some female blooms really soon. Next we have watermelon. So I'm gonna start over here. What I noticed with watermelon, I've been getting excellent growth in the better growth in the grow bag than the 6-inch container, but the 6-inch container is showing slightly similar results to the grow bag. It's not a big enough difference to where it's just like, oh, I'm never going to use that 6-inch container, but it is enough difference that I can see that there's expedited growth going on in that grow bag, because I sowed the seeds inside the grow bag on the same day as I did the 6-inch containers that I'm getting ready to show y'all after I show this plant here. But this one specifically is growing real fast. This is the root zone, and it's stretched out all the way over here. Now a couple of other plants, there's 3 plants in this grow bag. The couple other ones are a little bit smaller. This one, the biggest one right here, is about 2 feet, 2.5 feet, pushing 3 feet. So right here is another watermelon, and it's doing real good. This one is probably stretched out at least 10 feet, and it has a fruit set on it. The first fruit set was eaten by insects. The second fruit set, it got large, but then it shriveled up, so I had the second fruit set on camera. This third fruit set here, I actually hand pollinated this on video with y'all. So y'all saw the second fruit set, and that one shriveled up, and y'all also saw me hand pollinate one, and that's this one right here. Been having insects that were attacking it when it was a little bit smaller, but I've been keeping my eye on it, and I've been watching it swell ever since. So I'm hoping that this one does real well. If not, I'm still expecting many more fruit sets from this variety, especially from the new plants that I planted. This is one of the older vines, this big one. This wasp can get out of my way. So much wildlife in this garden. Plenty of male blooms, definitely. The first female blooms, I say you could just let those go. Don't even bother pollinating them. So here's one that's in the 6-inch container right here. This one is in the 6-inch container, and the plant is doing okay. It's not growing exactly as fast as the other watermelon plant, but it's doing good. Those leaf-footed guys, they demolish anything they can. But basically all of these vines right here, these are a bunch of watermelon vines, a bunch of them. So they're taking over real nice, and I'm definitely expecting a lot of fruit sets. I'm gonna just have to dig for the female blooms so I can do some hand pollinating, because I have a lot of different varieties, and I also need to guide these vines so they don't grow towards the next variety that I'm about to show, which is Royal Golden. So let's get this like that. Plenty of watermelon vines there. So as I said, next we have Royal Golden, which is over here. This is the last one, and I need to plant my Crimson Sweets next. So Royal Golden is looking good. You can see the yellow in the leaves. That's actually a trait of this variety. Now back here, maybe some dying leaves. These pale yellow, but the golden yellow like this, that's actually how the vine typically looks. I have some Hisho Wu growing into here that I need to take out. I'm gonna do that on my own time. So I have a bunch of royal golden vines in here, but the Hisho Wu is covering up a few of them. But you can see the watermelon leaves, and basically this whole little ring right here contains royal golden, and it's doing real well. I haven't been watering this one either. It doesn't seem to be growing as fast as watermelon, but it's growing fast enough. So we can see one vine here. It's just starting to vine out. It's the root zone in that little area. Yeah, they just starting to vine out. Now this actually could be a characteristic of the leaf because it doesn't look dead or anything, but it's definitely golden. So that's probably how the leaf typically looks as it starts to age. It starts to take on that golden color and then take on the pale yellow color. So that's about it for right now, y'all. So everything is basically doing good in these grow bags, and if we compare these royal goldens here in these grow bag compared to down here in these 6-inch containers, the 6-inch containers look like they're doing decent. They're about all in the same stages of growth, not too much of a difference to where it's where it'll be noticeable for a beginner. A beginner could plant those and wouldn't, and it'll look like the same rate of growth. So unless you really have a good eye for watermelon plants and how fast they grow, and just comparing the lengths of the vine and whatnot, you probably wouldn't notice it. So the grow bags, I give it a thumbs up. I haven't had to water, although I'm not saying don't water. I'm just saying I didn't have to water, and I've still been able to get wonderful results. I actually thought that I would be sacrificing health of the vines because I thought they would start drying out or something due to being in those grow bags. I was just under the assumption that the grow bags would dry out real fast, but it hasn't been the case. I'm definitely gonna keep up with how large the watermelons get also. I'm going to compare and contrast how large they get over time, because that's one of the biggest things I'm focused on. Size of the fruits and the size of the melons. But that's one of the biggest things I'm definitely focused on, the fruit size. I see the vines are doing well, especially Desert King, or especially in these 1-gallon containers. So the grow bags are actually cheaper for me to grow, but if I can do 1-gallon containers, that actually looks to be the best option. So that's just Desert King again. Just comes take a step over here, I guess. So this is Desert King. And they're doing real well. Just leaf-footed bugs everywhere though, tearing up the vines. And these are grown with the white turmeric. That's a white turmeric right there. Doing real good, but not as good as the 1-gallon containers. And I only had Desert King in 1-gallon containers, so I didn't have enough different varieties to test out just how well those 1-gallon containers do. I'm definitely interested to see how those Leelanau Sweetglos would do in 1-gallon containers. So that's the progress we got right now. Want to keep this video under 20 minutes because I don't want to have any issues with uploading it. But once again, this is Haru Madhu, and this one honestly it's blowing me away. It's blowing my mind away. I'm astounded at its growth, honestly. Some of them aren't doing as good as others, but as far as this bigger vine is concerned, I'm astounded. So I'm gonna start making sure those root zones are shaded, plants are getting full sun, deep watering, heavy fertilizer, and all I'm missing is worm castings. So that's that, y'all. See y'all in the next one.